Slaughter High, 1986. The movie opens up and we see a sign that reads Dodesville County High School. This is where we meet our main character, or sort of, Marty, played by the late Simon Scudamore. And right off the bat you can see that good old Marty here isn't the most popular guy in school. Also gotta mention that the music in this film is done by the one and only Harry Manfredini, the same guy responsible for the iconic score for Friday the 13th. So already you know we're in for a treat. We see Caroline Monroe, better known as Anna in the William Lustig slasher Maniac. She plays Carol here. She leads Marty to the girls' locker room to quote-unquote fuck when Marty suddenly realizes that it's April Fool's Day and he's the motherfucking punchline. The original title of the film was going to be called April Fool's Day, but then Paramount came along and was like, hey, we already have a film named April Fool's Day. So then they changed it to Slaughter High. So, you're trying to tell me that these guys are high school students? Yeah, fucking right. After a bunch of bullying and hazing, these motherfucks take this shit a bit too far. The middle-aged teens give Marty a joint, and then it's off to work on his chemistry experiment. Dude gets so stoned, he ends up puking his guts out. What a lightweight. And the way he smokes the joint. Like, what kind of technique is that? Got shit popping and shit? The hell's going on here? Mr. Middle-aged teen guy, or Skip is his name in the film, sneaks in to sabotage Marty's little chemistry set. Shit starts popping off, catching a flame, and before Marty knows it, he's standing in front of a blazing fucking inferno. His desk is completely engulfed in flames when he accidentally knocks a bottle of nitric acid off the shelf. The acid splashes him right in the fucking face and then causes an explosion. The middle-aged teenagers run to the chem lab, and that's when they make the grisly discovery. And then we get this jump scare with this total Friday the 13th sound and sting.
I'm sorry, Marty. We didn't mean to.
Classic. Turns out that the middle-aged teens are all getting together for a high school reunion. But it literally looks as if no time has passed, because they all still look exactly the same. In their late 30s, early 40s, but fuck it, right? So the whole gang is finally here, when it seems that they're being watched.
Hey, but shouldn't we be inside?
The thing is, no one seems to know who sent out the invites for this little party. Ironic how the only people invited were exactly the same fucks responsible for Marty's death. They're all sitting around outside when they hear a crash, some broken glass or something from somewhere inside the school. And then their luck gets even better, because it starts to fucking storm, basically forcing them into the creepy abandoned high school. Then we get another jump scare with a good old-fashioned Friday the 13th sting, complete with some Jason breathing sounds.
Who do you think I was? Jason.
April Fools.
Funny thing about that hockey mask, though, is that it's the same style mask that they used for the cover for Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. Storm is getting worse outside, so our middle-aged teens decide to wander around the deserted high school. When they stumble upon a classroom that looks like it's been set up for a party, they then notice that their old lockers from back in the day are also neatly lined up on the wall in the classroom. Inside the lockers is an item from their past. Inside Carol's locker there's an old note from Marty. And that's when we see it. Marty's locker. They then look inside the locker and they find Marty's old yearbook. Then Mr. Swab here gives us a little backstory on what happened to old Marty after the horrific incident.
They took him straight to the hospital. He had 6 months of plastic surgery. When they finished with him, he still looked a real mess. His mind went berserk.
No shit. They say he still roams the nut house, escaped back to his old school.
so he can take his evil revenge out on us all.
Our middle-agers here crack open some beers and get the party rocking. Then, lurking in the shadows, we see that they are definitely not alone. So after they smoke some pot and snort some coke, two of the chicks have to piss, so they set out to find the pisser. These fucks are always up to something. Our unsuspecting middle-aged women find the bathroom, where they get jump scared. Oh, grow up, you fuckers. Then, the fuckwads run into the caretaker.
What the hell are you kids think you're doing? Don't you know you're trespassing?
They basically give the guy a cold one and he fucks off. As he's leaving, he runs into an uninvited guest. The clock strikes midnight, and that's when we find out that it's actually April Fool's Day and the anniversary of Marty's death.
It's April Fool's Day.
When this happens. Yeah, it's all fun and games until somebody's stomach randomly explodes. They go to leave when they find out that all the doors are locked and all of the windows have been fucking electrified. One of the guys busts out this bitch to get some help when this happens. The others don't even know that their friend has just been murdered until they see his dead body hung up like a goddamn scarecrow. So one of the girls earlier got sprayed with blood whenever old dude's stomach exploded. So she separated from the group for some reason to go wash up, when she literally gets fucking boiled alive. Her face even fucking melts. Holy fuck. That's when they realize Marty's back and he's looking to party. Susie finally arrives to the party. Better late than never, I guess. Now the real reunion can begin. So she's walking down one of the creepy-ass corridors when she sees a life-size picture of Marty in the doorway at the end of the hall when this happens. Middle-aged dudes find an old tractor and decide to use it to bust the fuck out of here. The two other jugheads leave Mr. Late 30s alone so he can try to get the tractor up and running. Yeah, leave him alone so he can get murdered. Great idea. And that's exactly what the fuck happens. Two of our middle-agers are off somewhere bumping uglies when mid-fuck they literally get fucking electrocuted. After discovering their friends' dead corpses, Skip decides it's a good idea to call Marty out. Be careful what you ask for, you just might get it. So with all the murder and mayhem going on, our three surviving middle-agers somehow fall asleep. Skip wakes up and goes out into the hallway and gets grabbed up by Marty. Carol and Nancy finally wake up and set out to find Skip. And Skip, he's fine. He's just hanging out. And then they walk right by this giant jester hat just chilling on the ground. Like, how do you not see that? They're walking down a hallway when they hear some strange screams coming from one of the rooms. They go inside to find the video of them bullying Marty all those years ago. Nancy finds Marty's yearbook and sees that her picture has a red mark through it. She's fucking next. Nancy bolts ass outside, and with Marty in hot pursuit, she doesn't see the giant hole in front of her and falls right the fuck in. She tries to climb out, but Marty just pushes her back down. And she dies, I guess? Meanwhile, Carol's just running into all of her old friends. She even runs right into Marty. But with baseball bat in hand, she rocks that sucker. But like they always say, you can't keep a good Marty down. So Carol is hiding when she hears Marty coming around the corner. Only thing is, it's not Marty. It's Skip, and she drives an axe right into his fucking skull. Marty sneaks up behind her and she throws his punk ass out of a window. But, you know he's not dead. So for some reason, her dumb ass runs right into the girls' locker room. You know, the place where this whole thing began. Now she's trapped and she has nowhere to run. She then comes face to face with our pal Marty. Literally. Marty impales the fuck out of her. And that's the end of Carol. So with everyone dead, Marty has some demons of his own to work out. This is when the real high school reunion begins. Then we cut to some hospital where Marty's screaming and freaking out, all wrapped up in bandages in a hospital bed, when one of the doctors hears an alarm coming from Marty's room and goes to check it out, and this is what he finds. So did any of that even really happen? Or was it just some crazy-ass fever dream of Marty's? Then, Marty starts to rip off his fucking face. And that's the end of the movie. And that's Slaughter High, folks. Definitely highly recommend this film if you're more into like obscure horror films that a lot of people don't really know about, and if you're into 80s slasher films, definitely think this is a great movie for you to watch. The score is amazing. I mean, it's done by fucking Harry Manfredini. Literally the same guy that did the score for Friday the 13th. So, in my opinion, the music is very fucking awesome. This is definitely one of those more obscure classic horror films that gained a cult following later on. Nonetheless, a very spooky little horror flick for sure. Scott 86, Slaughter High 1986. Check it out, folks. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Monster Mash.